if it's a valid follow-through day, you want to start to actually just focus on your stocks because, right, stocks start to become decoupled from the market, right? Some stocks will run up more, some will run up less, some will lag, some will lead. But once you get that kind of a valid follow-through day, and for anybody who is watching this and isn't completely familiar with the follow-through day, it's just effectively, the market will give you a low, 3 to 4 days later, it will just kind of float higher, and then on that third or fourth or even fifth day, you'll get a pickup in volume and a push over prior day high. And hopefully at that point, you're reclaiming a key moving average, like, maybe for some people, the 20 EMA, the 20 SMA, sometimes the 200, whatever level that might be. And then for the market in particular, it's like you were coming off of really, really bad breath just a few days prior. So that made it even better. And then the very next day, it's like you're getting a gap up and a break over prior day high of that very bad breath day. So anybody who might have shorted, anybody who might have sold their stocks, they're kind of piling right back in, just to get repositioned. So just a break of low day was my stop. The first spot I sold some was on 428. So first red day. So just like I talk about 3 to 5 days, I like to de-risk some of my trade. So 500 shares were sold on that day at 418. I didn't sell any more. Another 500 shares at 430.94 on 429. So again, a few days later, this would have been, just a little bit bigger of a push. 429. Yep, the very next day, trimmed off a little bit more. Didn't get any more sells off until May 7th. So as this was breaking the 10, kind of on the gap lower at on 5.7 at 425.18. And then this thing just kind of kept chopping, and I just kind of kept slowly peeling some off. So 448 was my next sell on the 21st, which is the day that this, that squat. And I got a little bit frustrated with it because I actually added some thinking it was going to break out. I was like, okay, this is a nice tight day. I'm going to add on the break of prior day high. So I actually added 500 shares. I didn't sell. I added 500 shares at 448.16, and I ended up taking those off at 440, and then the last of my position off at 434, which just goes to show you that if you overtrade, right, not only are you eating a little loss on it, that's that same day, and then that squat. This was actually the day prior to this. What was the stock that actually squatted the day before, if I'm not mistaken? There was a name that broke, and I don't know if it was, I don't think it was Uber. Was it MSTR? So this would have been on the 521. So the day before, I want to say MSTR. One of these names broke the 20. No, this would have been on the 23rd. There was a stock that had, I don't remember exactly which one, that, squatted and then broke below the 20 simple moving average. And in the back of my mind, I was like, okay, small red flag, right? Some stocks are squatting. The market's just been in this really, really nice uptrend for the last 30 days, almost V-shaped recovery, right?